Are you ready? I'd like to call tonight's board meeting to order. Please join me for opening exercises.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Stacey, did you call roll tonight?
Sure. John Cassiano. Willard Delacour.
Here.
Joseph Betzinger.
Here.
Todd Hernandez.
Here.
Becky Height. Here. Lauren Hunsiker. Here. Todd Leiser.
Here.
Rachel Scheffler. Here. Jennifer Sinovitis. Here.
Okay, next item is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Comments, questions? None. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right. Welcome. Thanks for coming out on tonight's chilly night. At this point, we offer courtesy of the floor. We have a guest tonight, so if you wish to address the board now, yeah, just state your name and the township you live in.
Sure. Is it okay if I do the NWLEF stuff? Or do you want me to?
This is the reorg meeting, so if you want to do that now, you're
Yeah.
welcome to, or you could do it during the regular meeting, whichever you want. There's 2 meetings today, actually.
Yeah,
There is a spot for foundation report at the second meeting.
yeah.
Okay.
You wanna wait?
I don't know. What do you prefer? It seems like, when is the second meeting?
And right afterwards.
2 minutes after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will-
This will be a short meeting this week.
This one will be short. Okay. All right, so let's see, next item is election of president pro tem.
I'd like to nominate Todd Leiser.
Second. Anybody else? Close nomination? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right. President, you're up.
Okay, so we'll head into this section, which is kind of the swearing in of the new members. So pursuant to section 402 of the Pennsylvania Public Code, I hereby call for the new members of the board to come forward and present their certificates of election. So I will, Mr. Hernandez.
There you go.
All right. Certificate of election, the election board of Lehigh County acting as the municipal election return board for Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, having computed and canvassed the returns of the election held on the 4th day of November 2025, does certify that Todd Hernandez received 3,374 votes and has been elected to the position of Northwestern Lehigh School Board.
Thank you.
You're going to get sworn in a minute.
Okay.
Rebecca Height. Certificate of election, the election board of Lehigh County acting as the municipal election return board for Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, having computed and canvassed the returns of the election held on the 4th day of November 2025, does certify that Rebecca Height received 3,260 votes and has been elected to the position of Northwestern Lehigh School Director. Not good at the left hand, right hand. Lauren Hunsiker. Certificate of election, the election board of Lehigh County acting as the municipal election return board for Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, having computed and canvassed the returns of the election held on the 4th day of November 2025, does certify that Lauren Hunsiker received 3,647 votes and has been elected to the position of Northwestern Lehigh School Director. Certificate of election, the election board of Lehigh County acting as the municipal election return board for Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, having computed and canvassed the returns of the election held on the 4th day of November 2025, does certify that Jennifer L. Sinovitis received 3,189 votes and has been elected to the position of Northwestern Lehigh School Director. You got the middle initial.
Just being efficient.
Okay, I direct that the secretary list Todd Hernandez, Becky Height, Lauren Hunsicker, and Jennifer Cenovitis as the legally elected members of this board in the minutes of this meeting. And now we turn it over to Judge Tom Creighton.
Well, thank you. It's been an honor to be here and to swear all four of you guys in. If you want to come up, I think we can all do it at the same time. That way. I know that the job, thank you for serving the community. It can be a thankless job and it's a lot of work and you guys control a lot of money. So everyone wants their taxes lower, that's for sure. So, okay, did you have any family you wanted to be with you or anything?
You're watching on TV.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so, everyone can raise their right hand and you can say your name at the end and then I'll read it, you can repeat after. So,
Rebecca.
Lauren Hunsicker. Ben Cenovitis.
do solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I shall fulfill the duties of my position
and that I shall fulfill the duties of my position
as a school board director
as a school board director
for the Northwestern Lehigh School District
for Northwestern Lehigh School District
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Miss anything up
Well, have a good meeting. That was a quick reorg meeting.
Yeah.
That was one of the quickest.
Almost there, yeah. You got a little bit, one
Thank
more.
you so much for coming.
couple more-
Thank you.
Judge Craig's on night duty, which,
Oh,
so he's going to head out. He gets all the calls till 1 AM for anyone who needs a judge to speak.
There's 14 of us in Lehigh County, so we all rotate and take turns covering the county. So this happened to be my week to cover the county, so I get a lot of business from out of town. Oh, I see all kinds of stuff.
Hopefully you have a quiet year.
Yes.
And this was the most eventful part of your night.
Exactly, hopefully, that would be great.
That would be great.
Thank you.
thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
Very much.
Okay, moving on. You all have on the agenda a list of all of the qualified legally elected or appointed members of the Board of School Directors for the year now beginning. Does anyone see any errors or inaccuracies in the list? Anyone? Does anyone desire that the list be read aloud? No, we know who's on it. Okay, I'll now open the floor. We need to put that in, right? No. I'll now open the floor for the nominations for the office of president. Are there any nominations for president?
I nominate Todd Hernandez.
Second.
All right.
Any additional nominations for president? Hearing none, I'll close, do I have a motion to close the nomination? Second on that? Second. Joe? Do I have a motion to nominate Todd Hernandez as the president? And I do have a second on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed? Congratulations, Mr. President. I yield back the chair. And I didn't use the gavel this year.
Oh, you could have.
Thank you.
Thank
ready
you.
for that?
Yeah. All right, it takes us to the next item. So, election of the vice president. So we'll open the floor for nominations for the office of vice president.
Nominate Todd Weiser.
Second.
Right, any others? All right, let's see. I don't need to make a motion to close, do I? Didn't say. All right, motion closing nominations.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, motion nominating Todd Leiser as vice president. And second, okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
President. All right, this is the second opportunity for courtesy of the floor for this meeting. We'll hold off, seeing nobody else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Thank you. We'll roll right into the next one. Are we ready?
Yes. I'm just gonna-
All right, yeah, let me bring up that as well. All right, ready? Okay. Yeah, I should have called last meeting as the reorg meeting, I apologize. So I'd like to call tonight's regular school board meeting to order. Please join me for opening exercises again.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Stacy, just roll.
Sure. John Cassiano. Willard Deleger.
Here.
Joseph Fattinger.
Here.
Todd Hernandez.
Here.
Becky Height.
Here.
Lauren Hunsiker.
Here.
Todd Leiser.
Here.
Rachel Shepler.
Here.
Jennifer Cenovitis.
Here.
All right, thank you. Welcome again. And this is the time where we extend courtesy of the floor. So if you wish to address the board, now is the regular meeting. Or you can, if you're here with the foundation, you can wait till that opportunity. All right, seeing no one else, we'll move in.
I'm gonna make a motion.
Oh, yeah.
We're 104, just stepping back on
Sorry, I'm
you. Approval
rushing.
of the agenda. I'll make
Yeah,
that
let me
motion.
step back.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? I'm new to this.
Yep. Do this.
It's been a while. All right, welcome again. Courtesy of the floor, seeing none, we'll move forward to the minutes. And we have last month's November 19th minutes attached for approval.
So moved.
Second. Those, all right. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right. Next item is recognitions, presentations. There is none tonight. Board report, I do not have anything. Superintendent report, you have something tonight.
I do have two things. Dr. Sosnowick and I had the opportunity to go to the tree lighting. It is sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce this past Sunday. Even though it was pretty cold and a little bit rainy, it was pretty well attended. So the Chamber of Commerce does the tree lighting, Northwestern Elementary and Weisenberg choirs do sing every single year, and they did so this year as well. We gave out glow sticks and reindeer food. Reindeer food we have done every year, and it's a big hit. And so that was the highlight of our week. And then they have traditionally done it on Thanksgiving weekend, as well as a shout out to Ambition Gym. They did Thanksgiving care meal packages for 24 families right before Thanksgiving. And so big shout out to them and their members who helped out 24 of our families right before Thanksgiving. And so that's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move forward in the personnel, first item, the personnel agenda.
I will certainly take that. You have a number of items, including retirements and resignations on the top, no employee appointments and other actions, and I'll certainly take any questions should you have them.
Can you put a motion in a second, please?
So moved.
Right.
Second.
Thank you. You get those? All right. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, thank you. And 2.02, next personnel item is the administrative compensation plan for year 2026 through 2031.
Certainly take this one as well. The compensation plan, as we've discussed, is attached, and I would ask for your approval. As I've talked about before, in your last meeting, you approved the collective bargaining agreement. This is with similar vein. It is an early agreement in preparation for the expiration of their agreement. It is done early. The board and the Act 93, which supports all of our administrators, has met with them and done this agreement early, certainly supporting our students and maintaining strong educational programs, and doing that early supports our budget and our future obligations. And I certainly ask for your approval on this agreement tonight.
So move.
Thank you, Ms. Dorian.
But you go.
You
Second.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions?
Well, thank you to Todd and Joe for bringing this to a swift and successful and reasonable conclusion. Good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, thank you. Curriculum and building issues. Let's see, high school program of studies revision.
Turn this over to Mrs. Jadish.
Thank you, Dr. Holman. Some years we have really nothing to talk about. Today there's 8 pages. So if you'll just bear with me for a little while, we do have some significant changes to our program of studies in certain curricular areas. So first we're going to start off with art. Mrs. Seiler has been with us for 3 years now, and she was very active and eager to start looking at these courses and seeing what else she could offer to our students. So on the left-hand side, you'll see what currently exists and what will be changing for next year. We will be removing Introduction to 3D and Introduction to 3D, 2D, and 3D from the program of studies and replacing it with a new course called Introduction to World Art. Mrs. Seiler essentially took all of the content and objectives for high school art and created some courses where she could combine some skills and offer up some new opportunities for our students. So that is the first change that we've made there. The second change that she's made, we offered 4 studio level classes. Those were level 2 and 3 classes in different areas in our art department. What Mrs. Seiler has done is she has eliminated all 4 of those studio courses to create 1 studio art class. That is what will be added to the program of studies book for next year. This will allow her to spend a little more time working with our advanced students. So while we were able to kind of scaffold our courses over the last several years, we had levels 1, 2, and 3 students in each of our art classes, many of our art classes. We're getting a lot more students who are reaching those upper level classes, and she feels that this will better serve their needs, both for students who just enjoy art as a hobby and for students who need a portfolio moving on to post-secondary school. So the interesting thing about this class, which Mrs. Zimmerman and I will work through, is you can take this course as many times as you'd like. So we just want to make sure that kids get recognized for that on their transcript without having to add another course number. So we're still working on that, but we are going to allow students to take this course multiple times. And then the last 2 changes are simplistic. She just changed the course descriptions for Intro to Drawing and Painting and Intro to Ceramics and Crafts. Currently, Intro to Ceramics and Crafts remains our most popular course and most full course, which is the most difficult for her because obviously we're working with clay in the kiln. So there's a lot of safety concerns there, but she does an amazing job. She just made them more clearly represent what it is she hopes to do and will do in those courses. So those are just updated course descriptions for her in the art department. Are there any questions on those? All right, then we'll move into our FCS, Family and Consumer Science curriculum. Mrs. Dorney has been working with our Fundamentals of Early Childhood Education classes over the last 2 years to really bring back, after COVID, the visits to the elementary school. She implemented this year, she actually does observations of the kids, similar to a teacher when she goes down to the elementary school. But she really felt strongly that she wanted to expand that opportunity for a course like this beyond students who wanted to go into education. So she wanted to widen that pool. We spent a lot of time and many votes throughout the building renaming this course. So the new name of this course is going to be Training and Teaching for Any Career. The kids actually picked this title pretty overwhelmingly. This is what they wanted to see in the program of studies book because they wanted to be able to take a class where they could show their leadership skills. So basically, we want to offer this course to any student, regardless of what career they choose. If you have interest in becoming a leader in whatever it is you do now or post-secondary, this would be a course for you. We feel very strongly about our relationship with Northwestern Elementary and the teachers and students there. So we are going to maintain that relationship and some form of, I'll say, internship, apprenticeship with the people at Northwestern Elementary. Perhaps not all geared towards future educators. So we really hope to keep that relationship with the students down there. And then the next two courses are food prep course is by far our most popular course for a lot of reasons. They do amazing things in there. Beyond just baking chocolate chip cookies, they make some gourmet meals that I've never made in my life. So they do a wonderful job in there. And then our interior design course, very math-based and yet both and creative and artistic class. This runs a full solid section for us each year, and Mrs. Dorney just updated those course descriptions for this year's program of studies. Any questions for FCS?
When you said food preparations, your most popular class?
No, sorry, in the FCS department, probably FCS Business and Technology.
What's the most popular class? Yeah, the big one.
Elective wise,
It is.
we run the most sections, or art. Art, we run a lot of art classes, and they're pretty full. So,
Is this course training and teaching for any career? Is that unique to Northwestern, or is that
it
a
is.
standard that we?
No, Mrs. Dorney created it on her own. She really had been wanting to do something like this with an education class. And we really talked about it and talked about the pool of students that we might be able to bring into a class like this. And when we create electives, we really want to hit as many kids as possible, regardless of what they're moving on to when they leave us. So that was a very strong belief of hers, that we wanted to allow more kids than just future educators to be in the class. She spent a lot of time taking her ideas, putting them into AI actually, and just that's kind of how she worked her process of getting herself to this particular course description and the titles. And then, as I said, she had some faculty and students vote, and that's what kids wanted to see. None of the teachers picked that name, by the way. I don't think that was very popular with us, but the kids are the ones who are going to pick up that course, so we wanted to represent what they thought.
Thank you.
But yes, it is unique it is created from scratch. We read a lot of things, but we ultimately created this class ourselves.
Good idea.
And finally, we have, no, not finally, third on our list, we have two courses that are being created brand new for the high school, and they are actually based upon a new law from PDE that requires every student beginning in 26-27 to graduate having had a personal financial literacy course under their belt. So a couple of things that had to change here. First of all, I had to change the graduation requirements. So on the page in the program of studies for grad requirements, both from the state and from our district, we did add personal finance as a requirement. And I did recognize that this is for the class of 26-27, and the two courses that will meet the criteria that has been put forth from the state are 503 personal finance and 397 financial mathematics. This was not an easy process to go through, because anytime you require every student to take a class, you have to meet every student's individual schedule. So right off the bat, given that we have 30% of our population who go to LCTI, and 30% of our freshman class went to LCTI this year, those students are very limited in how many courses they take with us throughout their high school career. So if you are a freshman who goes to LCTI, you can only take your 4 core courses every year at the high school. You do not get any electives at our school. All of your elective credits are at LCTI. So because of that, we actually had to identify 2 courses that will meet this requirement. The first one is for the majority of our students. This is going to be offered in grade 12. We felt very strongly that if we wanted this to truly be meaningful, we wanted to hit the kids as close to their end of high school career as possible. Because my experience has been, until I needed to know it, I didn't know it. So I didn't learn about mortgages, and that's not true. I didn't care about mortgages till I got one. I didn't care about insurance till I needed it. So we're trying to get them as close to we can to their adult life before offering this course. This course is actually going to be taught for our business technology and FCS classes. We have identified 2 teachers who are interested in taking this. We are working to create this as a hybrid course. Seniors very much don't like to be in school all day, every day. So we are looking to create this as a course that runs like a college class, 2 to 3 days a week, with the other 2 to 3 days, they don't have to be here for that class. In addition, we're going to work on getting our teachers to be adjunct professors at L-Tri-C, because the curriculum that we are running here will directly match their personal finance class. So that's a bit of a process. We can't guarantee that for next year, but we're going to keep working on that as we move forward. Sometimes teachers have to teach the course for a little while before they get approved for that, so we'll keep looking at that. Our ultimate goal with that course would be to create an online course that we could also offer to students who can work independently. They're very optimistic that we're going to get there next year. I'm being realistic. I'm thinking that's 2 years out to create that full course online, but that is ultimately our goal, is to have that as another option for personal finance. And then for the students essentially who go to LCTI and need a math, who go to LCTI and need to take personal finance, and the only spot they have is in math. The second course that will meet this requirement is going to be called Financial Mathematics. We did a lot of research looking at some financial algebra courses, understanding that our LCTI population hits a wide variety of academic levels and motivations and interests. We're trying to create a course that meets that need for everyone. So this is what we came up with. We do have 2 teachers who are interested in teaching this in our math department and are helping us to write the curriculum. Basically, this takes all of the personal finance curriculum and marries it to past algebra, geometric, statistics content, and mashes it all together so they get their personal finance credit and their math credit together, which is allowable by the state. So I'm really hoping everything I said comes really well together for next year, because it's kind of all over the place. But that's what happens when we get these mandates from the state. We are going to do our very, very best to make it work, and we will tweak it as needed, and that's how we rolled it out to our teachers, and they've been awesome with it so far.
So one credit class offered final semester, when does it offer?
So it'll be a 1-semester course.
Semester?
And as long as I meet the time requirements, so I just have to go by what, I'm basically going to marry it to a college schedule, and then we should be okay and just offer students some virtual time to do so. So we looked into that as well, and I think that's pretty well spelled out through the state that we would be all right with it. Equally, if kids don't leave, I have the teachers available. The nice thing about doing it 2 out of the 3 days a week in person is I can actually run 2 sections in one block. So, Shannon Kistler, who's going to be one of the teachers for this class, she can do a Monday, Wednesday block 2 class, and then a different section Tuesday, Thursday block 2. It is brand new for us. We're a little nervous about it, but I really think it's the future of what we're going to need to do to keep our kids on campus a little bit more for senior year. And finally, this is just a follow-up to something that was vetted through our grading committee last year. We are ready to put in our multipliers for how we calculate GPA. So we talked a lot about this last year in our grading committee presentation. This is now just the language that will be included in the 26-27 program of studies. The first 2 that are highlighted in yellow, this is always how applied and academic courses were weighted. We just didn't say it because all of them were the same. So while this is new language that's written in the program of studies, it's not a change. For the next part, for accelerated and honors, we do have to split it up into 2 groups, and we will have to do that for the next 4 years. Because as you remember, we're rolling this out with next year's freshmen. So everything that is new will be for the class of 2030 and beyond, which I've highlighted in blue, and anything that will remain essentially the same for next year's 10th, 11th, and 12th grades are highlighted in green. For 10th, 11th, and 12th grades next year, we will still add the 3 percentage points. The difference is we are going to do that internally as an administrative team, and teachers will no longer do that. So one of the concerns was how consistent are we with that? Next year, my secretary is going to be in charge of that. So she will add the 3 percentage points to everyone's final grade. She will do that for the next 3 years until everyone is in the new multiplier in 29-30. And then on the final page, that's just simply new language to match everything I just said on how we calculate our GPA. And those are the changes for the next year's program studies.
When does this go out to the public? Kids?
Sorry. They are starting scheduling. They just sent me their schedule. I believe they're starting at the end of January. Excuse me. End of January, and we schedule through March.
And then that's when this will be,
Yeah.
go all.
Yep, we will post it online and we send it to the families as they schedule with their counselors. Excuse me.
Yeah, we need to take action. Any other comments or questions here? Okay, seeing none, I
Motion to approve 3.01 as described.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. Last call, questions? But you can't ask later anyway, but. All right, seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, thank you. Okay, move into policies, 4.01, first reading.
Thank you. This starts our step into the 300 level policies, so we're going to start chipping away at them. So the first one is 301, creating a position. We've updated language describing who's responsible for presenting new positions to the board, updated language clarifying the role of the board in determining salaries in support of relevant provisions of school code, and updated language aligning the responsibilities to the appropriate administrator. 302, employment of superintendent, assistant superintendent, modified language on the appointment of the superintendent, assistant superintendent to align with school code, updated language on the automatic renewal of contracts in accordance with school code, added language on the board approving and documenting the recruitment and assessment procedures. This language was recommended for protection from legal liability. Added employment history review language, language regarding reporting of arrests and convictions with compliance with school code, and added language regarding the term and conditions of the employment contract to align with school code. 304, employment of district staff, remove language not relevant to this policy related to job responsibilities, updated language regarding the employment of relatives to clarify that there is a distinct provision underneath the school code section 1111 that applies to teachers, while non-teacher provisions are governed by a local decision. Added language to the pre-employment recruitment requirements section regarding employment history review and reporting requirements consistent with school code, and then revised language regarding pre-employment medical examinations requirements to refer more broadly to policy 314, physical examinations. Board policy 305, employment of substitutes. Similar to the previous one, remove some repetitive language throughout the policy regarding candidate reference and recommendation of candidates for employment. Updated language regarding the employment of relatives, as I spoke about earlier. Added language to the pre-employment requirements section regarding employment history review, and added recommendation language regarding responsibility and retention of substitutes. Policy 306, similar to the previous two, where remove some language not relevant to summer school employment, including maintenance of certification and the use of summer schools prior to board approval. Remove some repetitive language throughout the policy regarding candidate references, provisional hiring and recommendations of candidates. Updated language of employment of relatives to align with the previous two policies. And then added language to the pre-employment requirements section regarding employment history and review. Policy 334, sick leave, we skipped a bunch there because we wanted to introduce language that was consistent with our collective bargaining agreement, which we just passed. The recommended general content revisions made throughout the policy for clarity provides language addressing medical documentation consistent with policy 314, and added language regarding the verification and utilization of sick leave, which outlines that the district reserves the right to investigate and require verification of illness in a case where there appears to be a pattern of sick leave usage. All of these policies were vetted by our solicitors. They're up for your review for first reading.
Just a question on the 334, just clarification on the very first, it talks about eligible employees. But who's not covered under there? Like who would not be eligible? The sick days, yeah. 334. It says certificated administrative professional employees shall ensure that eligible employees.
So
is there like who would not be?
So take example of we hire substitutes, we hire coaches, we hire people that don't get sick leave allocations. So those employees that are eligible for that allocation, this policy would apply to them.
Yeah, I just was curious.
Okay, anybody else or any of the policies in the first reading? All right. Seeing none, 4.02 is second reading and final approval.
Yes, so actually I do have one update, which I just lost. There we go. So as I mentioned before, PSBA released a policy update on November 13th, 2025. That included some additional minor revisions with regard to some definition updates. I've made those changes in policy 122, extracurricular activities, and I've labeled them in purple, just so you can see the changes since the last one, since you've taken a vote. That is the only change for these policies. So before you tonight for consideration is 122, extracurricular activities, 122.1, establishment of an intramural or student activity club, 123, interscholastic athletics, 1231, establishment of a new interscholastic sport, 123.2, employment of athletic coaches and co-extracurricular advisors, 123.3, parent guardians as athletic coaches and extracurricular advisors, 123.5, sudden cardiac arrest, 123.6, concussion management, and 324, personnel files. These sit before you tonight for your consideration.
All right, we do need to take action on these.
Move to approve the second reading policies.
Second, okay. Any comments or questions on these items?
Yeah,
Any of them?
I just have a question on 123.2, and I know I brought this up. Where you have highlighted in green, the duration of contract, in one breath, it says that all positions will be posted no later than May 31st, but in the next sentence, it says, may be recommended for reappointment without consideration of other applicants. It feels contradictory. So you're asking people to reapply, but you're also saying, well, just because you reapply doesn't mean any consideration will be given. And I think that could potentially deter people internally from applying. If they think that, they can, what's the point if someone's already in it and they won't be given a fair shake? And so I just feel that that's contradictory to each other. That's just, I don't really know it's a question. I think it's a comment. I don't think it reads well for all people. I mean, anybody who wanted this position should apply and should be given all consideration, no matter whether they've been doing it, just like any other position that we would have here. So I just think that that reads a little contradictory. That's all.
Yeah, I think the intent might be that not all applicants in any position are guaranteed an interview, so there might be a better way to say it. But whether it's extracurricular or head coach, an applicant might not be considered, all applicants might not be considered for a position. We use a screener and a process to select who's being brought in for a position, so there might be a better way to say it, but I hear you.
All right, well, we do have a motion in a second. Just to follow up on that, if there would be another review, or we don't have to wait, right? We could, if we determine that, like, hey, there's better language, we can, this can be represented at some point in time.
So if you don't mind, I think it's a valid point, and it does probably read poorly, and it could be written better, so I concur with Mrs. Cenobitis. So if you don't mind, we can hold this one and move this to January and allow us to maybe wordsmith this with a true intent
Yeah,
behind
that's,
it, because we don't want people to believe that they won't be considered,
right,
as this may imply right now, because we do consider everyone. It just may not obligate
Okay.
us to take them through an interview process.
all right.
And I think that could be clearly outlined better than this is. This is an internal policy for us and not tied to PSBA. So somebody dreamt that language up sometime in the past, and I think it probably could use some wordsmithing. So if the board is okay with it,
Okay.
I would be glad to talk to Mr. Zimmerman and see if we can't work that language out.
Yeah, I think the intent is if you are happy with an employer, you're happy with a head coach, you can apply, but we go through a screener process that has a number of different categories in it, and not everyone is going to be guaranteed an interview, just like if you apply for other positions.
So, who, did you give the original motion?
I gave it a second.
Second, so who gave, you gave the original? No, who gave the?
I think it was Bill.
Bill.
It was Bill, and I gave it a second.
Yeah, so would you revise the motion to exclude? 324? No, was it 132? 1232. Okay.
And then you want me to
you're okay with that?
re-second it, yes.
Yeah.
May I just make one comment before
Sure.
we vote? I just wanted to say in regards to this policy, I think that, I can understand the concern there, but I also just think it's more vague so that it's not, I don't think everything always has to be spelled out, kind of like what we were saying. So again, I personally do not see an issue with it, because with any position anywhere, if you're applying for something, you have the opportunity to basically reapply, everybody has to reapply. I just want that to be clear. It's posted. If a coach wants to come back, if an advisor wants to come back, they have to still put in for that. I think maybe just that second part, if you want to make it cleaner, but personally, I think that the intent is that if they're doing a good job, as if the employer, which is our district, is happy with the performance of an advisor, a coach, etc., that, people can apply. But again, I also don't think that we want to waste other people's time and make people interview just for the showing of interviewing, right? Because if they're doing good, there is some loyalty. We have coaches and we have advisors that put a lot of time and effort, not just during season or during a time period, but also year round. And so I just think that, I think that we should be careful with how we're saying things or what we're going to say, because then I think it could actually swing the other way and it makes people not feel valued. And that's just my opinion on that. So thank you.
So we'll take both those comments and see if we can't present something to the board in January that marries all of that
I
together.
don't disagree. It actually probably could end with the posting and not address the last comment at all.
Exactly. I think it just needs to be consistent with what you're putting out there.
But that's my point. In other places, we end with posting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, well,
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion.
yeah, we have a motion a second. You guys have a task and we'll look at it as it comes back. So any further comments or questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, thank you. Okay, next policy item, 4.03, rescind And there are no policies to rescind tonight, so we'll move into operations. First item is 5.01, food service management RFP.
I will take that. As I mentioned at the summer update with food service, we are entering, or actually not entering, we are in our 5th year with our contract with the nutrition group. And the Division of Food and Nutrition requires us to do a full RFP every 5 years. And so we are asking the board's permission, as we do with all RFPs, so we can step through that process. That process is extremely prescriptive through the Division of Nutrition, Food and Nutrition. And we will look to present the board in the spring with our recommendations. So the RFP, we'll make the posting typically around January. We'll put it out, we'll have vendors come in and do that whole process. And then the selected company will be presented for your consideration to engage in another 5-year agreement. So that's the timeline, and that'll get wrapped up probably sometime in the spring.
Okay. We do need to take action on this item, so for that,
So moved.
thank you, Ms. Gallagher.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Enright. Comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, good luck. Okay, next operation item, 5.02, E-rates.
I'll also take this one. So E-rate is a federal program that provides subsidy for technology equipment. It's something that we like to participate in because it gives us really deep discounts on this equipment, which can be extremely expensive. So we're talking about stuff that really carries our internet signal around the district, such as last time we used it was for our wireless project, where we saw some pretty steep discounts. And Mrs. Thacker, what's our current discount rate?
60%.
So 60% on the dollar we will get off, with regard to expenditure. So we do have a need for this year, and we budgeted to replace, we'll call them our head-end switches in each of our buildings, which carry like the power to our wireless devices that control everything. And so with that said, we'd like to apply for E-rate to get that 60% discount on this project. And we'd like your approval to do so, please, because it is a bid.
So moved.
All
Second.
right, thank you, Ms. Gallagher, Ms. Reiser. Comments or questions on this one? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no?
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, thank you. I'll move into district finances, and first item is 6.01, the Rockin' Yoga Assembly Contract.
Yes, Weisenberg kindergarten students on March 12th will be doing rocking yoga assembly for the amount of $1,900 that will be paid through the student.
A lot of yoga going on. Yeah.
There is.
For kindergartners.
Yeah, we need to take action.
Motion. Oh, we don't?
We do.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Second.
Thank you.
Second that
Did
one.
you get those? Okay. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right. And next item, 6.02, additional payment of bills.
Yes, we're just asking like every other year that we can do another run before the Christmas holiday, just because of the short time period between November's board and tonight.
So moved.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, thank you. And 6.03, the reports.
Yeah, so highlights of our local revenues. I'm proud to say that collections of our tax real estate bills from July to October, we have collected 92.18% compared to last year at 87.16. So we're ahead by $2.7 million from the prior year. We did receive PERDA money, which is just for utilities. Where the utilities are on properties, we get money back. It's $31,000. We had transfer taxes in the month of October of $34,000, delinquent real estate taxes of $30,000, contributions and donations of $57,000. That was money from the foundation and also from the LBHN. That is our contract with the project that we had done. And then transportation services of $9,900.
We did receive some state funds last month. It was the cleaning money of 500,000 and $5,000 for, we have an intern right now in the high school in the guidance office. So he applied and got the FIA grant that the governor had put out 2 years ago and has continued to do that. So that money just comes in and then it goes to the intern right away. Our earned income taxes, EIT is up 3.1% from last year. Expenditures are basically nothing out of the ordinary. LCTI is a larger amount for the month of October. LCTI was going through with new personnel in the office and they changed their financial system. So they rolled out new invoices that took longer than usual to come out. So that $400,000 is for our monthly installment to them for July, August, and September. So that was larger than usual. And the property, the $449,000, that was for the buses that we received. Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Are we all up to date with the revenues from the state since the budget?
They've been coming in regularly. Yeah. We're still waiting for the new guidance on doing our 363 to recalculate the cyber charter tuition. We just got an update today that they're hoping to get the new formula out to us before Christmas break, so.
Anything else?
Does that have to go through the legislature yet?
The formula?
Yeah.
It did, so with the budget, they passed a massive school code bill, one of which was the formula with it. We just don't quite know what it is.
Yeah, we need clarification because it's saying to reduce 60% of your operations, but what does that mean?
60% of your operations, 60% of your tax collector and your activities. We just don't know exactly what budget codes they have included in that.
All of
Well, we would like that to be there. I'm not sure what's included and what's not included.
They'll tell you otherwise.
It's in the fiscal note that got passed with the budget, so it's passed, we just don't know exactly what they included. So it was passed with the budget.
Thank you.
All right, so we move into other reports, and the first item is the foundation report.
I do have something tonight for the foundation report. I'm happy to report that the foundation has opened the application for our teachers to submit Grow mini grants for 2026. The application does remain open for the entire calendar year, and the foundation plans to fund these grants in both the spring and the fall. I do realize that Amy Kinnan, the development director, is there from the foundation. So if there's something else you would like to add, Amy, feel free.
Thanks, Leanne. I do have a short report since I'm here. Just wanted to give you guys some updates on what we've been doing and what's been going on as we're finishing out 2026. We did have our clay shoe event at the end of October, was hugely successful, and we raised over $27,000 with about 80 participants. We finished up pretty much this week, finishing up our year-end giving campaign efforts with Bucks for Baxter, which went out yesterday for Giving Tuesday, and we also did our Give 180 annual appeal that went out earlier in the fall. The allocation committee approved over $20,000 in teacher mini grants recently, so we are pretty excited about that. All the teachers should be starting to procure their items for what was granted, but we are proud of that number. It's, I think, a lot of the reason why the foundation was started, and we were able to go back to things we weren't able to fund last year and go back and say yes to some things that we had to put on hold. So we went back and I think we pretty much said yes to anything that was in agreement with the school. So, and as Leanne said, the applications are now open again for 2026. So I'm sure she's getting those communications out to the teachers. And we're just starting to plan for 2026. This is a time where I get really busy soliciting our local businesses, trying to reach out to our existing partners and get our annual partners and the annual sponsors for our 2026 events secured for the coming year. That revenue is a lot of what helps support the Grow Grant program. So that is all I have. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. All right, in my haste, I was speeding things along, I saw, and I neglected a couple things. So I need to go back to reports. We do need to take action on them, so.
Move to receive reports.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right, and I also flew over paying the bills, which is good and bad, right? You would have saved some money there, but we do need to pay the bills.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Comments or questions on the bills? Seeing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? All right. Now we'll get back to other reports. 7.02 committee reports. Intermediate unit, anything tonight?
No, next meeting is December 15th.
Okay, thank you. LCTI?
Just, we had a meeting last week, I think it was, and we had open house as well. I was able to attend and talk to some of the kids that are in the programs. And again, it's amazing. And there was, I think estimating like 2,500 people were at open house from the districts that we serve. It was packed. So it just goes to show how interested people remain in what's happening at LCTI.
Nice, thank you. And LTRC, we do have the the LTRC Northwestern Area School District Fall Fact Sheet for 2025 and the President's Desk Newsletter are attached for your review. And Rec Commission, Becky, you want to do this one?
Sure, attended my first meeting officially. They're working on some grants for the rec fields. We're finalizing numbers for Night in the Country and getting that set up for next year, so.
Yep. Thank you. Other than that, I know that it's winter time, so the fields pretty much aren't as used as much. Thank you. Okay, old business, none listed there, but anybody have old business? New business, none listed, any new business? All right, communications, courtesy of the floor. You wish to address the board again? Seeing none. Secretary, communications, anything tonight? Nope. All right, administrative and building sharing.
Okay, thank you. We'll start with the elementary schools today. Mrs. Keys?
Hello, good evening. We're getting into the holiday spirit at Northwestern Elementary. Our 5th grade winter concert will take place next Thursday, December 10th at 9:45 for students and 2 o'clock for families. They've been working hard with Mr. Fees preparing for this performance, and we look forward to hearing the 5th graders sing and play their instruments. On December 18th, students will take part in the Hour of Code, where they'll spend some time throughout the day engaging in activities that explore coding and computer science. These 2.5 weeks before winter break will certainly fly by. Happy holidays, everyone.
Mrs. Burlett?
Good evening. We are also gearing up for the holidays, and we will have our 5th grade winter concert on December 9th. The student and staff performance will be held at 9:30 a.m. and the performance for our families will be held at 1:30. The students are excited to share their musical talents. Weisenberg Elementary will also be holding a holiday shop for our students. Our PTO runs this program, and it will be held December 11th through the 17th. And this is just one more example of how our PTO supports the students and staff at Weisenberg. We are very grateful for their continued support. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Mrs. Stitzel, anything further?
I have nothing further this evening other than happy holidays.
Perfect. High school, anything?
'Tis the season, and not just the holiday season, but the Keystone season as well. High school will be once again administering Keystone exams to students on January 6th, 7th, and 9th, right after break. Students and families will be receiving an email from the high school with more information about the upcoming exams this Friday. So students and families listening at home, pay attention to those emails because you're going to get a whole bunch of Keystone information. Students and teachers continue to work hard on their preparation and are making those final preparations in order to have a successful testing window for this winter session. Also, just want to wish everyone a happy holidays.
On behalf of the Act 93 administrative team, we'd just like to thank the board for your professionalism and courtesy that was shown during our Act 93 meet and discuss process. I was a member of the administrative team that met with your committee, and I can honestly say we truly felt heard. I hope you felt the same, that we listened to what you shared with us, and we were very, very honored to be able to share that information with you. So for that, and as well as tonight's approval, we thank you for that.
Happy holidays.
To the newly elected board members, congratulations on your wins and happy holidays.
I have nothing further to add.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Nothing further besides happy holidays.
Thank you. I'll open up to the board if anybody wants to share anything tonight. Want to read the minute, meetings?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to Mrs. Yadish's presentation about the program studies. We kind of quickly reviewed that and moved it in a hurry, and thanks for being brief. But I just want to acknowledge all the work and research that goes into that kind of thing, and the innovation that your staff brings to make it interesting and effective for the students' learning is really appreciated, and thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I'll be sure to pass that along. Thank you very much. I'll share that with everyone.
Thanks. Anybody else? All right, I'll just say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Hope everybody has a safe one as well. Okay, meeting announcements. I'll read these before we adjourn. Board meeting was held on November 19th at 7 p.m. here in the boardroom, and an exec session for personnel matters was held right after that meeting. A workshop meeting will be held on January 7th of next year, 7 p.m. here in the boardroom, and that will be followed by an exec session for personnel matters here in the boardroom as well. And then we have a regular board meeting, January 21st of next year, 2026, 7 p.m. here in the boardroom. So, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.